This is a giant chunk of Legoland that goes several bricks deep. And in this video, I'm going to be turning it into a massive Lego underground survival base. Then at the end, I'm going to put it through some difficult catastrophes to see if it will survive. Let the challenge begin. Okay, so this dirt chunk is over 40 bricks deep and almost 100 bricks wide. Yeah, we got a lot of building to do. So it's time to dig down and build the first room to our survival base. The first step is building the entrance to our base, so I built this functional door that literally blends in with the ground. And now it's time to build the first essential room to our survival base. So I made this small storage room with different supplies that we'll need to survive down here, like food rations and medical supplies. And this is only the first of 15 different rooms I plan to build, each one getting bigger and crazier. But since we're underground, it's still dirty and it's freezing cold. So another essential room we're gonna need in our survival base is a place to sleep. So I turned this next space into a cozy bedroom, and the space next to that, I built a bathroom with a sink, toilet, and a walk-in shower. And in the same room, I'm gonna build a giant closet with tons of clothes that our minifig can wear. So now we have 3 essential rooms to our survival base. And after all that building, I think it's time for a quick nap. For this next room, I want to build an indoor garden with fruits and vegetables. That way we can have a self-sustainable source of food. So I quickly speed built a room with these planter boxes, and all we have to do now is plant some seeds and water them. And there we go. Now using indoor lights, we have a thriving garden where we can now grow all sorts of different fruits and vegetables to eat. Another essential room we're gonna need in our survival base is a room to store weapons, because in the case of an emergency, we might need them. So here's a variety of different weapons, from guns to rocket launchers, grenades, all the way to bows. So the next room we're gonna add to our survival base is a giant locker room to put all of them. Nice, now I feel like I'm in a Call of Duty loadout screen. At this point, we've built all the essential rooms that we would need in a survival base. But it's still boring down here because there's nothing to keep ourselves entertained. So for this next room, I want to build a complete movie theater. The first thing that every movie theater needs are nice couches that you can recline on. So I built these functional ones that a minifig can actually lay down in. And for the screen, I built this giant one using flat plates. And to enhance the movie experience, here's some giant speakers, a popcorn machine for snacks, and some movie posters. Nice. Okay, we just built the at-home version of a movie theater. But even with this entertainment, there's nothing to keep our Lego man physically active down here. So I say for this next room, we build a giant indoor gym. And it looks like we're officially out of space for this first layer, so we're gonna have to dig down to a deeper level. The first thing I'm gonna add are 2 rock climbing walls. And to build the rocks that you grab onto, I use these stud pieces. And to make our minifig wanna climb the wall, I hung a bunch of money on the ceiling. I also built a treadmill, and to get him to run on it, I built this contraption that hangs a hot dog in front of his head. I'm also gonna add a bench press and a rack to hang up different sizes of weights.
Come on, get those reps. Yeah! Woo!
This is now the biggest room in our survival base, and after a complete workout, his health has increased, and now he's rocking a 6-pack. And after that workout, our muscles are gonna be super swole, so I'm gonna quickly speed build another room with a hot tub with lots of tropical plants to make this place feel relaxing. Another room I want to add to the survival base is a game room with arcade machines. So it's time to clear out some more space. I want to include all the different types of arcade games. So here's a driving simulation game. I also built this arcade game, which is a first-person shooter. And finally, I'm gonna add one of those dancing games with the squares on the floor you're supposed to hit with your feet. And at some of the arcades I've been to, there's also bowling. So I built this tiny bowling lane with pins and a bowling ball for our Lego man. Come on, let's get a strike. Let's go! Perfect! Now earlier, we got food rations and built an indoor garden to grow fruits and vegetables. But for this next room, I want to build a complete kitchen where we can cook up all sorts of delicious meals. I built a pantry to fill with ingredients and a refrigerator that we can also fill. And to help cook the food, here's a blender and also a stove.
Let's try to flip it.
And to cook for our Lego man, I built this AI robot that will personally prepare and serve any dish we can imagine. Okay, another idea for a room I have is a library, because I think reading's a great way to relax and keep our minds busy while we're trying to survive here. The first thing I built is this rotating couch to sit down in, and lots of books that I built using these flat tile pieces. And while our Lego man starts reading, we're gonna make this room super relaxing, because in the very back, I'm gonna put a giant aquarium with all kinds of aquatic animals. Okay, that's another room down, and at this point, I would actually pay a lot of money to stay in the survival base. For this next room, what if we built an indoor basketball court? So it's time to dig out the biggest room of all. Whoa, Steve from Minecraft? What are you doing down here? Oh, he's digging for diamonds. That makes sense, guys. Okay, we're gonna have to send him back home because we're gonna turn this space into a giant basketball court with 2 basketball hoops, a rack to put basketballs, and finally a scoreboard. But the score's at 0, so let's give our minifig a basketball uniform and run it up. At this point, there's no way you're gonna get bored in this survival base. But there's still more cool things that I want to add. Like, what about an indoor skate park? So I cleared out a large open room for us to build one. I found these slope pieces in my collection, and we're gonna use them to build 2 massive ramps on each end of the room. And finally, in the middle, I'm gonna fill it with random obstacles that I'd see in a skate park. But aside from skateboarding, we can also bring a BMX bike here and some rollerblades. And there we go, that's another activity to do down here and another room added to our survival base. Now, what's another interesting room idea? What about a music room with instruments? There's one more empty corner on this level, so I'm gonna build it here. And all we have to do now is just add the instruments. So here's 2 guitars, an electric keyboard. I use these round bricks and disc pieces to make a complete drum set, a flute, one of those egg shakers, a harmonica, and for my favorite item, here's a PC setup with speakers and a MIDI controller so we can cook up some beats. And okay, there's no more room to put things, so we're gonna have to move to the next one. I have one final idea for a room. Basically, I want to build an indoor swimming pool with slides and diving boards. So there's one more large space that we haven't used yet, and I'm gonna turn it into one giant room to put a swimming pool. And quick hack, but if you take transparent panels and lay them sideways, you can make fake water. On one edge of the swimming pool, I'm gonna add 2 diving boards to do flips off of, and on the other side, I built this tall platform with a slide going down into the pool. And I built a few more things like this towel rack, another rack to hold a life vest and flippers, and most importantly, a pool floaty.
Let's go!
Okay guys, that was the final room that I wanted to build. This thing looks like one of those ant colonies. Look at the before and after results, guys. Also, this is a good place to hide from the cops when you do an illegal building technique. But to see if this is a true survival base, I'm going to simulate a series of tests to see if this is truly something that you can survive in. Starting with an earthquake. Okay, it looks like it passed the first test. Wow, there's a lot of stuff that just came off. But this next one's gonna get more advanced because we're gonna see what damage happens when a flood occurs. Oh look, the pool's actually full of water now. Okay, it did get some of the rooms wet, but there's no actual damage on the thing. And for the final test, I'm gonna simulate an atomic bomb. But since Kim Jong-un didn't answer my DMs, here's the at-home version of one, and it's this 20-pound metal ball. No way, bro is still chilling on the couch. Don't worry guys, I think I can still fix this.
Stop the cap.
Comment what you want to see me build next. Thanks for watching, I'll see y'all in the next one.
Stack it up, add it up, stack it up, add it up, stack the bricks, stack quick, let it click. You know I'm lit.